Okay, so please, I need your attention. Today we'll be dealing on effective speech with emphasis on public speaking. Our emphasis today will be on public speaking. Now, when we are done, in the morning I introduced pitching, how to pitch for anything you want to do, either you are seeking for loan for investor, whatever you want to do, how to pitch. So we're going to be concluding with that today. All right. So today we'll be talking about introduction to public speaking. Put it on the screen. Introduction to public speaking. Okay. All right. Now, I want you to pay attention. I want to start this way. There's a German proverb that says that a man is seldom better than his conversation. Put it on the screen. A man, every man you see, every human being, every man, every female, every male, is seldom better than his conversation. What does this mean? This means that you cannot be better than how you speak. You can never be better than how you speak. This argument shows that in life, how you are perceived, how people perceive you, your perception is usually what people hear from you. So if you are having challenges with people not understanding you, people always misreading you, people always misquoting you, that means you have a communication issue. This is very, very key. Most of the priceless opportunities you have lost could just be because of this. All right. Now, I want to tell you guys something. When we are talking about effective speech, we are talking about communicating in such a way that somebody can understand. Most of us here, we just talk. When we talk, we think people are understanding us. Then, when the reaction comes back to us, that is when we now know that we were not communicating at all, or the person did not understand us. Okay, so as for introduction, I want you to watch this first video. Just watch this video and tell me your comment.
1, 2, 3. Practice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3. Practice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3. Practice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, did you see that? Did you see that? So I want to show you the power of communication. Okay, watch this one again. Watch this one. What did you write there? The same thing, but in different words. This tells what you have been facing through all your life. You keep on wondering whether God is against you. You keep on wondering whether enemies are against you. You keep on wondering whether there are arrows from your village chasing you. Some false prophets give you a lot of prophecies about why things are not working. It could be something as simple as communication. You see that beggar? She's been there for days. Nobody's giving you money. And just the simple words that young girl wrote, and things started happening. So I want you to take this seriously. Communication is very, very important. All right, let's get to Animal Kingdom. I want you to watch this. Let's see. Please, you need to pay attention to this one because it's a cartoon. So pay attention to this one. Okay. Did you notice something there? Did you notice? Okay, just push back to the last animal. You could see what was going on. There was a message that the animal was eating other animals. Then all of them were going to ask question. Am I a monk? Am I a monk? Now, watch what the last animal said. Can you put it back? Watch what he said. Can you take me off the list? Are you seeing it? Come back to me. Now, all the other ones went there and they couldn't communicate. But you see what the rabbit did? The rabbit just, that's plea. Can you take me off the list? Do you know that there are some people go and ask, I know some of you are in social media, armed robbers have caught them, kidnappers have caught them, and through the power of their speech, they could hold them spellbound and get out of their enclave. So the power of your communication is key. It starts from the ordinary to the mundane to what will give you money, everything in life. So it's not something that you will joke with. We're going to talk about this here during our mentoring period. I'm going to be talking more about communication. I'm just not happy it's not a camp. If it's a camp, if I'm in an entrepreneurship camp, I usually subject all of you to speaking. Everybody must speak. When I did the camp in the north, in Kano, the first day in the camp, some ladies there couldn't even talk. But after 1 week, people were shocked at the way they were communicating, which is very, very key. All right, so let's get into business now. Let's define public speaking. What is public speaking? The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines public speaking as the art or process of making speeches in public. It also defines it as the art of oral communication with an audience. The act or process of making speech in public and the art of oral communication with an audience. That's what we mean by public speaking. Now, look at this. communication has a process of sending messages. Put it on the screen. Now pay attention to the screen. You are the one speaking. So you are the sender. You are the one speaking. You are the sender. Now pay attention, all of you, to the screen. Now, you speaking, you are the sender. Okay? Now, the sender, it goes to the receiver. That in between you and the sender is a medium. So that medium is what blocks you from sending. Then you have a feedback. Put it back on the screen. Sender, medium, receiver, and feedback. So this is what I just explained. You are the sender. The person you are speaking to is the receiver. Then I want you to pay attention to medium. The medium is in the middle. Then you have a feedback. So the feedback is what determines whether you spoke well or not. You saw all the three examples I gave you. This on the sport, the beggar, and the animal kingdom. So the feedback is what determines whether you were actually communicating well or not. Okay. Now, there's ways that we communicate. We communicate in different ways. Either by speaking, by writing, by visual images, or body language. By speaking, by writing, by visual images, or by body language. Just as I'm speaking to you, I am speaking. Some of you write very well. You can also write. By visual images, social media has made it so wonderful. Some of you here can actually write a book with emojis. A lot of you can write several books with emojis. Then the final one is body language. A lot of people communicate well with body language. Sorry to say this, but in this one, women are very, very good in this. If two women are sitting together here, they can be talking about you doing so many crazy things. You will never, never understand what they are doing. So a lot of women are very, very good in that. You know, if you have two women in a room with you, they can be talking about you, raising their eyebrows and all that. They are very good at that. Okay. Now, we are still talking about effective communication. So what we mean here is that for a communication to be effective, the speech must be strong. There should be no communication impediments. There will also be what? People, if you are listening, you should also listen, because the definition of good speech, communication, is not all about speaking. A good speaker is also a good communicator. All right, so let me show you. Can you go to slide 13? Go to slide 13. Now, barriers to communication. Remember what I showed you before? We have the sender, we have the receiver, and we have the medium in the middle. Leave it, don't remove it. We have the medium in the middle. Then that medium in the middle that does not allow you to send messages to the receiver are these barriers. So they come in different forms. It could be that you that is speaking, you lack knowledge about what you're talking about. It could be your voice. It could be that probably you have a boring message. You do not understand that the message you are speaking to the wrong audience. You're talking to the wrong gender. It could be that. It could also be that you're speaking to disabled people. So some of these things are so very, very key in communication. All right, so before we continue, I want you to watch this video that describes clearly what effective communication is all about. Effective communication is all about. Remember, number one,
Active listening.
I told you that when you are a good speaker, you must be a good listener. I want you to write that down. Some of you are very, very impatient with speaking. When you are speaking, you don't allow another person to speak. You always interrupt, excuse me, can I say something, blah, blah, blah. It is very, very wrong. Okay, so watch this first movie on active listening.
Active listening. The act of fully hearing and comprehending the meaning of what someone else is saying. Avoid getting distracted by your own thoughts. Focus on the speaker and topic instead. Try not to interrupt the other person. Let them finish and then respond. Use door openers. These are phrases that show you're interested and keep the other person talking. Show that you're listening with body language. If appropriate, take notes during important conversations. Paraphrase what others have said to make sure you're both on the same page. Thanks for listening.
Call yourself a good communicator if you don't know how to listen. Because you that is also speaking, you are getting feedback from people you are talking to. So it's important you master the art of speaking. All right, to conclude this introductory part, I want you to watch this video on when we say effective communication, what are we talking about? It's embodiment of speaking, listening, and everything together. So everything I've spoken in the past few minutes now, I want to summarize it with this video. Just watch it.
We all use words and language every day to interact with people at work. But do we really communicate effectively? Effective communication can be broken down into 3 parts: listening, understanding, and responding. Let's look at these one by one. Listening involves hearing the words that are being said, taking in nonverbal cues such as body language and facial expressions, plus paying attention to voice modulation. We then move on to the next stage, understanding or giving meaning to what we have heard. Most communication breakdowns happen at this stage because we often misunderstand or misinterpret what is being said. When we make errors in interpretation, we are likely to respond incorrectly as well. For example, your boss asks you if the task that he assigned to you has been completed. If you interpret that as the boss blaming you for not completing the task, you are likely to respond with anger. However, if you interpret that as your boss wanting to just know the status of the task, you are likely to feel less angry and defensive. How we interpret what we hear is affected by the thoughts that pop up in our minds when we are listening. At Way Forward, we help you catch these automatic thoughts so you can reduce communication errors and be more productive at work.
So that is what we call effective communication at work. All right. Why do we communicate? There are reasons why we communicate. Look at the screen. Number one, to change behavior, to give information, to persuade people, to get action, and to ensure understanding. To change behavior, give and get information, to persuade, to get action, and to ensure understanding. Now, please Pay attention. Now, let me start with changing behavior. Sorry, this is not an ethics class. But you see, most times, if you're used to giving instructions and people are not listening to you, people are not understanding you, it's not all about the people you are talking to. It's also a big gap in your communication. It's a big gap in your communication. That's number one. Some of us here, we have children, we have juniors. If you also have a lot of challenge talking to your juniors, speaking with them, then you have a communication problem, because communication has the power to change behavior. It has the power to change behavior. Now, to give and get information, this is very, very important. If you want to send out any information that is important to you, just like I'm doing, teaching you, you have to ensure that you communicate very well. Not just that, it's also trying to ensure understanding. It's not enough to communicate, because I can spend 2 hours here talking to all of you. You don't understand me. That means I am not communicating well. Now, in communication, you don't use the same tones, you don't use the same body language. There are times when you need to raise your voice. There are times when you need to lower your voice. For instance, if I need money, I cannot come to one of you now and say, Gideon, give me 50,000. I cannot do that. I can't use that tone. I have to come down to my sweetest voice mode to say, hey, Gideon, I have a problem. I don't know how you can help me. Please, can you give me 50,000? I can't shout at you. So I'm doing that to get action. Now, on the other way, if I have to get you guys to get things done, get your workers to get things done, you need to raise your voice, because you don't give others as if you are pouring water on the ground. It doesn't work that way. You need to straighten your voice. So you're a bad communicator when you use the wrong tone for the right thing. So you must know how to modulate your speech. If you are speaking to get action, to get something, you speak differently. If you are speaking to persuade, you speak differently. All right. Applications of communication. We apply communication to several things. Put it on the screen. We apply communication to so many things. Class presentation, some of you who did your projects in school, field research, business communication, and of course, public speaking in churches, wherever. So these are some of the areas that you apply. But our interest is in business communication in this class. So go to the next slide. So in business communication, these are some of the ways you can use communication in business. You look at the screen, you will see all the applications of business communication, social communication, development of managerial efficiency, efficiency of targets. Please look at it. You can screenshot it. These are some of the ways you apply business communication. Also, when you want to raise morale employee, publicizing goods and services, elimination of rumors. So if there's too much gossip in your company, you have a lot of girls who gossip a lot in your workplace. So you know that that's a problem. So if you want to, because how gossip starts in a company is when you give instruction to your staff and you are not clear with it. You're not clear with your communication. So they will go back and begin to discuss everything you have said. So that will lead to gossip. That will lead to gossip. Okay. Now we have how you communicate in an organization. Please go to the next slide. So we have both internal and external communications. So your external communication, you are dealing with your clients, customers, government agencies, you are dealing with them. Then in internal communication, this one is the one I just described. It's all about you, what you're doing internally. So let's go to the next slide so that I'll simplify it. So you can see that in the internal and external communication, in external communication, you're doing mostly with your customers, your clients, your suppliers, public agencies, and governments. But internal communication is the communication right inside your organization. That's how it works. All right. Why is communication important? I've said that before, but let's look at some other issues why we think communication is important. Number one, it inspires confidence. Can you put it on the screen, please? Communication inspires confidence. It builds respect in business and social life. It helps make friends, helps you develop a distinct personality, and reveals your ability to others. You know, most of us here, we lack confidence. You know, since we started this program, a lot of you here will raise up their hand. By the time we pin them to speak, they will not speak. It's okay. It's okay. They will not speak. So that is confidence. You know, a lot of times you've not been able to accomplish your goal because you're always too conscious of what somebody will say. Will I do it well? You need that confidence to proceed in your daily life. Communication helps you to build respect in business and social life. I have to warn you, it does not, what you know is not important. What you have prepared is not important. Like we're going to be talking about pitching. Some of you, I have seen some pitch deck that are very nice. When I read them, I'm already sold to it. Now, when the guy comes out to present his speech, you'll be wondering whether somebody wrote it for him. So you lose all the respect. It's not all about that. Business is all about market. Market is all about communication. Communication is the way you build revenue for your business. So what you're learning here is one of the most important things you will learn in your life. So it's not all about your business life. It's also about your social life. No matter, I'm sure you've been to a wedding once, you will see some guy will enter the wedding with affluence and splendor. Everybody's looking at him, he's smelling so nice with designer perfumes. Now they give him a microphone to talk. After speaking, nobody is saying that his Lexus Jeep again. He looks stupid. There's also a man that will enter that wedding. Ushers will ignore him because he's not properly dressed. Then, peradventure, they give him a microphone to say anything. In 3 minutes, he commands respect of everybody. So this is very, very important. When you were in school, they taught you that you were thinking that all the people who used to make A's, first class, high 2-1 will be rich. That's not what makes you rich. What those people have is IQ, intelligence quotient. There are 4 other things that will make you rich in life. Your intelligence quotient, adversity quotient, social quotient, and of course, what they call empathy. Things that talk about your empathy. So these 4 things are the 4 things that make you rich in life. Now, what communication does is that it raises your social quotient. So what is social quotient? Your social quotient is your ability to make friends easily and keep them. Let me warn you, nobody, you cannot, manna is not falling from heaven for you. If God is going to help you, it's going to help you from somebody else. So if you are the timid type, you are not used to making friends, then you have already determined your destiny. You've already determined your destiny. Anywhere you go to, I'm talking to the ladies right now. The guys are a bit okay with that. You need to come out of your shelf. The days of appreciating women because they are very reserved is gone. That era is gone. You reserve yourself to poverty. I'm not saying you should be wayward. Being social is not being wayward. But you should go out on a function and interact with people, exchange phone numbers, make friends, discuss business. Don't go there, cross your leg and tight your face and think you're feeling cool. That era is over. People don't behave like that anymore. Why do they do that? Because they understand that the smartest pathway of making wealth is by increasing your social quotient. And the best way to increase your social quotient is your ability to make friends easily and keep them. It also helps you develop a distinct personality and reveals your ability to others. Now, when you meet people, you will never know the ability they have. Some of you, if you meet me on the road, you could call me anything. Some of you may think I'm a musician. Some of you think I'm a Yahoo boy. You can't say anything about me. True or false? Yeah, some of you may think I don't have brain. Yes. Some of you may label me anything. But sitting with me for the past few days, I've been able to reveal my ability to you. If you didn't have the opportunity of sitting down to listen to me, you may not think I know anything. You can have any form of impression about me. So is it with all of you. I could meet many of you here and I don't know who you are. And people can never read you until you start speaking. Most importantly, you must be able to say what you mean in business. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you must know how to talk, whether you like it or not. I just wish next year I'm going to meet some of you in camp. Please, if you're not following me on social media, please follow me. We usually run all these entrepreneurship boot camps every year where we give grants to successful people. Please follow me so that when the grant comes up, you can apply. Then in the camp, you meet me again, you see a different person. We train differently in camp. It's the same to you're hearing, but in a different way, and because we have more time. One of my goals in camp is to ensure that everybody comes to the camp must know how to speak. You must know how to make presentation, because I know it is critical for your success as an entrepreneur. Okay. Communication, effective communication has 7 C's. There are 7 C's of communication. Every communication must be concise, straight to the point. It must be complete. It must be conversational. It must be clear. It must be considerate. It must show confidence in what you're talking about. And it must be concrete. So, conciseness, straight to the point. It must be complete. You should never finish talking to anybody and he feels you should have said 1 or 2 more things. It must be conversational. You can see the way I talk to you guys. I'm not talking to you as a preacher. I'm not talking to you as if I'm giving lecture in the university. No. My teaching mode is conversational. That's why it's allowing you guys to make inputs. So I'm being very conversational. That's why you're able to chat me, you're able to raise your hand, you're able to ask questions. You must be clear. That's the reason you see I use a lot of pictures. I use a lot of videos. You know why? Because if you forget what I said with my mouth, you cannot forget about what I wrote on the PowerPoint. You cannot forget about the picture I used to illustrate. You cannot forget the video. So, to ensure clarity, I communicate with 4 modes at once. For the same thing, I do 4 things to show clarity. The mind is not that magnetic. Sometimes it can forget, but there's no way you can forget these 4 things. Even if you forget what I've said, you will remember the video of that animal or that beggar. So this is how to communicate. You have to also be very considerate. Some of you don't know how to talk. You call somebody on the phone and you're talking and talking and talking because the person does not want to be rude to you to say, I'm tired. You don't know you should keep your conversation short and get off the phone. When you talk, it must show that you are confident of your subject. Please, the most important thing I need here is on your confidence. I repeat again, your confidence. When you start presenting speech about your business, remember it's your business. When they start doing the challenge fund, let's say you're a fish farmer or poultry farmer, you're coming to make a pitch of poultry farming. So how can you come there and you don't know what to say? You've been a poultry farmer for 2 years, fish farmer for 3 years, you can't talk. So as you make your speech, it must show confidence and concrete. Don't let the people listening to you think there are other facts you should have added. Your speech must be concrete, strong, and nothing else to add. Okay. I want to ask a question now. Can you tell me what you fear most? Please chat me up. What do you fear most in your life? What are the things that you fear most? Write it down. Let me see. Show me all the things you fear the most. I want to see them. Stage fright, being broke. Fejiro, you like money. Fejiro, I didn't know you like money. Not being successful, trusting someone, poverty. Yes, go ahead. Yeah. Making mistakes, stage fright, yes. Not making it in life. So none of you here fear death. So only being broke, being kidnapped, rejection, fear God. Not be able to do your work. Okay, now let me show you some things you fear that you people are not mentioning. Okay. Can you see? These are some of the things you fear. Okay. Please, these are some of the things you people fear. True or false? A lot of you fear heights, you fear death. These are some of the things that scare people. True or false? Some of you fear snakes. Love it. Do you like snakes? Do you like snake? Do you fear snake? Doreen, do you fear death? How many of you here fear death? Some of you cannot sleep where they take light. You must put on light. True or false? Okay. Now, let me show you. Go to the next slide. This is the number 1 fear in the world. Put it on the screen. Of everything people fear in this world, the first one is public speaking. The second one is death. Of all the things people fear in this world, number 1 is public speaking. The second one is death. So some of you put straight right. So why does this happen? Why does this happen? So put it on the screen. Why are people afraid of public speaking? Number one, they don't want to be judged harshly. You see, confidence. Because they feel that, because they lack confidence, if I talk now, they will criticize me. Insecurities. Some of you think you can't speak good English. It doesn't matter. People are not looking at your tenses. They are more interested in your stuff. Your tenses become an issue when you tell me you have master's degree or you went to University of Benin or this, then I'll begin to wonder why I can't speak well. But if you are coming to me and you're not very educated, why should I be bothered about your English? Of course, it's not important to me. Some of you feel that, yes, I have prepared this presentation, but I'm not perfect. You can never be perfect. How do you become perfect? It's through practice. Go out there, make the mistake, learn from it, and you become perfect. Myself that is talking to you, I didn't evolve like this overnight. Do you know for how long I've been doing this? Several years, from universities days. You know, it's not today I started doing this. So you have to make mistakes. You have to make mistakes. So don't say, how can I be like Dr. Emeka Orachuku overnight? You can't be like me. You have to go out there, make mistakes, correct your mistakes, and you'll be better than me someday. Some of you are bothered about rejection. Oh, you know, most of you here are listening to me. As this class is going on now, if they pick up their phone and somebody, maybe their boyfriends or their girlfriend, send them one nasty message, they will not understand anything I'm teaching till this class is over. Entrepreneurs are not unnecessarily emotional. That's not entrepreneurs' mind. They will, if you are in that mood, repent tonight. You must repent. Because this is what you call rejection anxiety. You are too anxious over too many things. You must be strong. You must be strong. So because what is stopping you from making that move, what is stopping you from taking risk, is you're not sure of how people will accept you. They will reject me. Failure. Everybody must fail. Everybody must fail. But the truth is, how do you handle failure? For me, failure is a learning point. It's not the end. It's because they have taught you that failure is the end. That is why you are afraid of failure. When you fail, it's just a learning point to get better. So don't be scared of failure. When you want to make any move, don't be scared. Humiliation is the same emotional people. All these emotional people, they're always too sensitive. Tell them they are stupid, they start to cry. You're useless, you start to cry. Because it's only a fool that somebody can manipulate his mood. I want you to know that before somebody starts talking to you, the person already knows how he wants you to feel. So why do you succumb to that? Dr. Rachuku, you are an idiot. Thank you. God bless you. Go, continue with what you're doing. It's just like pouring water on my skin. It doesn't enter my body. You move on. So when you develop this thick skin, there's nothing you cannot face, including public speaking. You can just go out there and talk. At the worst they can do, they boy you. God, it doesn't matter. Just get ready and make sure that the next time they see you, you're much better than what you are when they saw you. Okay, there are some truths I want you to know. Please pay attention. In this class now today, some of you have refused to talk because of some of these reasons I mentioned. But I want to bring you a message of hope. You are not alone. You are not alone. In every circle you people gather, like as you are gathered here, research says that 75%, put it on the screen, so 75% suffer from what we call glossophobia, speech anxiety. So you don't need to worry yourself. You don't need to bother. It is normal. So because some of you will hate yourself, why am I like this? Everybody is like this. The people who are not like this took the stride and they pulled themselves out of that. And this starts as early as when you are 13 years old. You do not need to bother yourself about this. Okay. Now, I've talked about people who cannot talk. So let me talk about people who talk. Why is it that they fail? I've been concentrating on people who cannot talk, who don't want to make speech. So let me talk about people who actually speak and why they are not successful with their speeches, why they cannot deliver good speeches. The reason is simple. They cannot handle their audience. Put it on the screen. They can't handle their audience. This is the reason why I've finished talking about people who cannot talk. Now, these are people who can talk. Why is it that they fail? Because they cannot handle their audience. Why? Number one, people think faster than they hear. They have short attention span. They jump to conclusions very easily. They are easily distracted. They think faster than they hear. They have short attention span. They jump to conclusions and they are easily distracted. Now pay attention. Some of you go to church. You complain that the sermon is too long. This man is wasting so much time. Do you know why you know why you're feeling like that? It's reason number one. Why is it so? I can speak to you for 3 hours. You will not go. Because I understand the importance and the processes of good communication. Now, this is how the human mind works. If I tell you why you should communicate, the first slide I gave to you, I said why you should communicate or advantage of good communication. 4 points. To persuade, to motivate, to give information, to get information. Now, why will I take this and speak on it for 30 minutes? Are you understanding me? Just pay attention to what I want to say. Why would I speak on it for 30 minutes? 40, 50, 60% of you here understand what I'm saying. I'm only bringing another insight and perspective to it. So when you go to a church or to a gathering and a pastor or a speaker picks a topic and you feel he has exhausted everything he needs to say, all he's doing is to be giving examples and examples and examples, you get tired. That's where you get tired. The human mind always responds to any new knowledge. So if you know the trick, you can keep talking to people. They won't even know when 2 hours will go. They won't even know when 3 hours to go. Because immediately their attention span is going. You're bringing a new thing that will excite them. They will listen to you again. So these are for those of you who talk too much. You ask them a simple question. They will talk and talk and talk and talk. I'm coming to that in a second. So people get easily distracted. That's why you need to focus on them. Next slide, why will you fail? Now, anytime you speak, this is what happens. Put it on the screen. Anytime you say anything you say, I want you to have this at the back of your mind. 70% of your communication efforts are misunderstood. They are misinterpreted, they are rejected, they are distorted or not heard. Misunderstood, misinterpreted, rejected, distorted or not heard. How many percent did I say? 70%. Now, I'll give you an example. I know this would have happened to some of you. You send somebody a text message or a WhatsApp message. The next second, the person is blasting you, fuming. You are the one now to begin to explain, sorry, this is not what I mean. I didn't mean this. This is what I mean. It will not take you time to begin to explain. I'm sure it has happened between your boyfriends and your girlfriends. You just send a message. The girl didn't even waste time. It starts to blast you. It will start to blast you. This is the reason. Put it back on the screen. So anytime you are sending a message out, know that according to the technical theory of speaking, if you have it at the back of your mind that 70% of what you are saying will be misunderstood, will be misinterpreted, will be rejected, will be distorted or not heard, that shows you that don't be in a hurry. If you want to communicate, type something, think through it. Don't be hyper. Some of you are very hyper. Everything is fast, fast, fast. Everything. Calm down. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Take a note of that song. Calm down. All right. Now, another thing you need to take into consideration is your audience. Anytime you're going out to speak, you need to find out what your audience are, who they are. For instance, put it on the screen. You must know their age, their gender, educational qualification, what they're interested in. A whole lot is very, very important. Let me explain. Now that I am teaching this class, I am conscious of the fact that all of you are not graduates. Some of you are OND holders, some have WAEC, some have Ph.D., some have master's degree. But I am teaching you like all of you just passed WAEC. So this is how to prepare for a lecture. If I come here and I start speaking as if I'm giving a lecture in a university, none of you will understand me. There are terms I've avoided. Instead of using those terms, I explain them. When I use them, I take time to ensure that everybody understands. Because I don't want it to be that I finish training and people go out and say they don't understand me or they don't understand what I'm saying. I'm teaching like the minimum qualification here is WAEC. So anytime you're going out to speak, you must try to make this study about your audience. You also need to check their ages. When are they youths? Are they old? What's the age range? Now, you also check the demography, whether the gender balance. Do you have more women? Do you have more male? Now, if in your audience, if you're addressing a women conference, for instance, you have to be very, very careful with the way you talk. Men are a bit tolerant when it comes to certain things. But for women, you have to be careful how you use language, how you talk. They don't tolerate or forgive people easily when you say the wrong things. The women, I hope I'm right with my analysis. So this is very, very important. Now, you don't also, we are in an era of Google. Some of you think, you see how the women are clapping for All of you are coming for me. Okay. So that is true. Women are very sensitive. So there are some jokes I won't crack here. If it's all a men's conference, I can start having women here, but I won't do that, or else they will hate me. That's how they behave. All right. So now, in this era of Google, some of you think you are intelligent, you can speak on anything. Communication, you go to Google and you download one PowerPoint. Because you go to YouTube, you listen to it. Well, good luck to you. You can get away with it in certain environments, in certain situations. But do you know whether somebody like me is in that audience listening to you? Sometimes, as I'm talking to you guys now, the worst thing I can do is to underrate you people. To think that you people don't know anything. Some of you here are very knowledgeable, but you're just sitting down listening to me. It's not that you don't know some of the things I'm saying. You may even know better than me. So as a speaker, you must always think like this. So don't ever go out to talk about things you're not knowledgeable about. During question and answer time, you will mess yourself up. All right. How do you win your audience? How do you win them? Okay, please, let's look at the slide. Number one, you must keep your discussions very interesting. You must keep it very, very interesting. Don't make your conversations boring. Try not to make your conversations boring. You must keep it very, very interesting. You have to use very good examples and stories, provide interesting points, go to the facts, don't go on and on and on and on and on. So if you watch the way I have been trying to teach you guys, I try to keep this conversation interesting, no matter what you are teaching. Whether it's a technical subject, a social subject, whatever it is, you must keep it alive and interesting. Tell a lot of stories, use a lot of videos. People like that. Go to the point. Go to the point. Now, another way to win the audience is don't speak for too long. Please, this is a sickness I want to cure all of you from. Some of us are like that. Now, listen to me. They can ask you when you get home today, Ifejiro, Ujiro, Ngozi. Somebody can ask Ngozi now, Ngozi, how was the class? Now, wow, just listen to me. Simple question somebody asked. Ngozi, how was the lecture this evening? You know that when I woke up, I was just tired. I don't know whether to start this class or not. I was just having double mind. So many things were distracting me. Then I started looking for my phone. I don't know where I dropped it though. I don't know where I dropped my phone. I started looking for it. Charger. When I saw the phone, I started looking for charger. This. They ask you a simple question. How was the class? You run around for the past 3 minutes. You have not answered the question. A lot of you talk like this. So many of you talk like this, and it's true. You go on and on and on and on and on and on. Now, the rule is this. Don't speak for too long. Keep it short and simple. Keep it short and simple. Don't speak for too long. Now, look at the screen. I want to explain something to you now. Look at the screen. Just look at the screen. You see, this is typical of how we speak. Now, watch. At the time, when the time here is negative, this is when you start your speech. In the first 5 minutes, everybody is listening to you. They are all paying attention. Can you see that? Now, if you spend 30 minutes, you have lost half of the class. So as you go further, very few people are listening to you. So you can see how it works. So if you raise any topic, don't stay on it. A lot of people these days are very intelligent. It's not like before. We have a lot of information out there now on social media. When I was in school, we used to go to a library. If you come to my table where I'm reading, it is like a bookshop. Nobody is doing that anymore because the whole knowledge in the world is on your phone. People are smarter now, more brilliant, and more informed. So when they are talking to people, don't talk to them as if they don't understand what you're saying, because that's why we keep for too long. If they have questions to ask, they will ask you. You see people talking to you, they'll be talking to you as if you're not understanding. You're not understanding them. That's why they keep going on and on. Now, the rule is this: KISS. KISS. Put it on the screen. So if you forget it, anytime you are talking too much, you say KISS. Keep it what? Short and simple. Barrister Barbara, keep it short and simple. You barristers, you talk too much. You talk too much. Keep it short and simple. You people talk too much. So don't forget these beautiful red lips. All of you that talk too much, like Barbara, that talk too much. So keep it short and simple. You must learn how to compress your facts and get to the point. If not, you're going to have problem of amount of speech remembered and how you will overcome it. Okay. I hope you're enjoying this class. All right. My only regret here is not a camp. I would, we'll have the practical aspect of this, and I don't have that opportunity to do that with you. If not, you'll be amazed at how efficient and magnificent you'll be as a public speaker. Now, the rule for public speaking is very simple. Now, I want you to pay attention. Even me, no matter how experienced you are, there's nobody who is not scared of public speaking. The only thing that gives us confidence is because we know what we are talking about. Any day, I will accept an invitation to go and speak on what I don't know. If you're in that audience, you'll be wondering whether this is Dr. Emeka Onachukwu or not, but I won't make that mistake. I will not make it. So, what helps you to prevent poor performance? What should you do to prevent poor performance? So we have what we call the 5P. Put it on the screen. The 5P. Simply, poor preparation prevents what? Poor performance. Don't pretend as if it's what you know. Even if it's what you know, go through it again. Some of us feel that if they give them microphone, they will always remember what to do. If you go for a wedding, there are people they ask to make toast. You'll be wondering whether they came from Harvard. They prepared for it. That's what you don't understand. Those people prepared for it. So if you are the kind of person that goes for wedding and you know they will ask you to make toast, sit down and write it. Prepare for it. So that they don't give you a microphone and you begin to struggle. Any opportunity where you think you will speak, prepare for those things ahead of time. You need to prepare ahead of time. Your pastors on Fridays, Saturdays, you need to see how they bury themselves praying and preparing for their sermons. They don't just come out to talk to you like that. Okay, so how do you make a good speech? How do you make a good speech? Just stand by. Okay. Now, the 5 P's are things you must know. You must know these 5 P's at the tip of your fingers all the time. Okay, now when you talk about the first P is what? Is preparation. Put it on the screen. Preparation. We have the 5 P's. The first one is preparation. I said it severally. You must know your subject. Please stop relying on Google and YouTube. Concentrate on things that you know. You know, especially in all these motivational things, empowerment things, soft skills. A lot of you feel that you can always talk about it because you think you're intelligent. The next P is practice. Practice. Please, practice makes you perfect. Practice makes you perfect. Back to me. Now, this is what you do. Especially if it's on a subject you have never spoken about before. This is what you do. Put a mirror in your house. Let that mirror be your audience. Speak to the mirror. Let it be your audience. Speak exactly the way you will speak to the audience. Speak exactly the way you speak to the audience. In a boot camp, when we are doing a boot camp, if for some of you have encountered me in boot camps, my assignment is that you practice 50 times. All the assignments, speech assignments, you practice it 50 times. And after 50 times, I can bet you speak like a professional. Now, the next one is presence. This is about how you look, your gestures, and all that. So I'm going to be talking about that in a moment. So, making a good speech. A speech comprises of 3 things. You have the introduction, you have the body, and you have the conclusion. So, in the introduction, I've talked about that. It's about getting the audience attention. There are a lot of ways you do this. There's a lot of ways you do this because I tell you, don't lose confidence in yourself. A lot of people have speech problems. Even those your pastors you see every Sunday, they have the same problem. I don't have all the time. There are a lot of tricks you use when you are starting your speech. But the easiest one to do is, if they give you a microphone, take a deep breath. As you're taking that deep breath, you are loosening yourself up. So as you're breathing out, just start your speech. Start your speech. It works very, very efficiently. Now, what you also need to do is ensure that you take advantage of what you have done. Some people use that as an advantage. Now, there are a lot of other things that people ignore. First of all, please pay attention. When they invite you to go and speak somewhere, don't go late. Some of you are habitual latecomers. You see, when we say class is starting, they come late. Good speakers don't go late. You know why? If you watch during American elections, the day they will do presidential debates, that night, you will see the 2 candidates, they will come to the venue. You see them, they are mastering the stage, the lectern, they are standing there. They want to get used to the environment. So go early and get used to the environment. It's very, very important. Make friends, talk to people. Don't go and sit inside your invitee's office, the person that invited you. Don't go there and sit down. Sit in the audience I'll get used to them. All right. Delivering your speech. How do you deliver your speech? There are three major things you need to take on. Please put it on the screen. You have your appearance, your speech, and your voice, and your body language. So let's look at your appearance. Please, this is very, very important. Now put it on the screen. This is very, very important. Anytime you are going to speak, make sure that you look good. If you're a man, make sure that you look good. Some of you don't cut your hair, you don't rub cream, you don't do anything, you don't use perfume. It's not the day you're going to speak. Go and borrow if you don't have. Make sure you dress very well, cut your hair, cut your beards, look good. You must look professional. Now, most of you have been seeing me on social media, flyers. Oh, like now, people are seeing me here. Now, when people meet you, oh, Dr. Emeka, they want to see you live. So the first 7 seconds, you're making an impression on them. They don't want you to look like some of these things we see on social media. A lot of you use filters to take pictures. So when people see you, you look different. This is not for public speaking. The same way you appear on social media, make sure that is how you look in real life. People want to look at you, your hairstyle, your shoes, your accessories. Make sure they are good. Now, if you are asked to come and make a pitch deck, maybe you apply for a grant, don't go there and think they will pity you because you look poor. Nobody's looking at that. When you appear well, it shows the people that you're talking to that you're organized. So don't go there without polishing your shoe. For the ladies, go to the salon. Don't wear overflowing wig. Wear corporate wig. Look good. Make your hair well. Don't wear tight trousers. Good skirts, skirt blouse, skirt suit, trouser suit. Don't dress anyhow. You must appear well. This, you see how long I'm spending on this slide. I want to re-emphasize to you the importance of impression when you are speaking. Now, your speech and your voice, very, very important. You must know how to moderate it. You know when to raise it up. You know when to bring it down. This is very, very important. Now, your body language, your facial expressions. Please, you never show emotions as a speaker. If you are angry and they are coming to speak, ensure that you brighten up. Everybody's looking at your face. So don't do that. Eye contact. Never take your eye out of your audience. Some of you are very shy, but I'll tell you the trick to use. The trick to use when you are speaking to an audience is look at their forehead. They will think you are looking at them. But never take your eye out of your audience. Use proper gestures. Make use of your hands. Make use of your bodies very well. Don't just sit down there and just be talking. Okay, there are things you should do. Number one, please go to the next slide. You have to make good eye contact all the time. Don't read from your notes directly, only glance at them. Use appropriate gestures to illustrate points. Use rhetorical questions to involve audience. These are things you must do. Things that you must not do. Things that you must not do. Don't read directly from your notes. Read directly from the screen. Do never you turn your back on your audience. Don't put your hands inside your pockets. All this forget about it. Repetitive nervous gestures. Don't talk too fast or too quietly. Okay, back to me. All right. Do you have any questions so far? We're about concluding. I hope you have your questions. We're about concluding. I want to find time to teach you this pitch deck. Okay, we'll still have some time. It's 5:30. Okay, so now let me go quickly so that I can switch over and give you the assignment on the pitch deck. It's part of your assignment. So I did just a few more minutes. Now, when you're speaking, there are signs to show that your audience is listening. So put it on the screen. So if they are smiling, like Barrister Barbara is smiling, if they are nodding, keeping eye contact with you, if they are relaxed, these are signs to show that your audience are listening to you. Look at the screen. So when you are talking to your audience and you're saying all these things, these are called positive nonverbal feedback. You must watch them. So when they are not there, you'll be ready to switch. Now, alternatively, when you see this type, please go to the next slide. When you see this one, they are frowning, pressing their phones, fidgeting, sleeping, turning away, fiddling with their hands. Please, as a speaker, keep your eye on your audience. If you are seeing some of these things, you need to quickly switch and do something to get yourself back on track. Okay. So I want to quickly switch over to, now that you have learned this, I'm not concluding yet. I want to go back to teach you the pitch deck. A lot of you have left the platform, but that's for them. Now that you have learned how to speak, please pay attention. Everything you're going to be doing as an entrepreneur is about talking. Either you're marketing, you're selling, you're presenting your products. But for the purpose of what you're going to be doing with Pint in the next few weeks or few months, you need to learn how to present your pitch deck. They're going to ask you to submit a summary business plan, and you will come to present your pitch deck. Now, look at the screen. I showed it in the morning. This is, please screenshot this. This is anytime you are asked to come and make a presentation or pitch, this is how you format it. I'm going to explain it very well now. I'm going to explain it very well so that you get prepared for the pitch challenge fund and any other grant you will apply for or investor pitch. Okay, before I explain it, I'm going to replay that video again. I'm going to play that video again, then I'll come back to explain this. Okay, play that pitch. Please listen to the video now. After the video, I will explain this again. Okay, let's go.
A pitch is the story of your product and company. It is never too early to start sharing your idea. To impress and excite people about your business, you need to be prepared to pitch anytime, anywhere. When giving a pitch, start with a simple greeting, followed by a catchy tagline to grab the interest of your audience. Keep it short and sweet. What if someone started their pitch with, "I will put Google out of business"? Wouldn't you want to know how they do it? Continue with describing the problem your company or business idea solves. Create a story to evoke emotions. Make your audience genuinely feel the pain. Use the relevant figures and statistics to convince them that this is a pressing problem. Remember to pause for dramatic effect throughout your storytelling. This gives time for the information to sink in with the listener. Once you have their attention, describe your solution to the problem. Explain clearly how your concept works and how you have tested it to prove this. Use visuals to demonstrate what your product or service looks like. It can be a video, a photo, or a screenshot of your application's features. You will have competitors, so highlight your unique value proposition. Illustrate to your audience why your solution is the best in your specific target market. Explain your business model to show that you have a solid plan to generate revenue. Next, explain what you have achieved so far and how you plan to grow. This shows potential investors where you are on your journey and your stage of maturity, and that you have a vision to scale the business to even more customers. Once you've convinced your audience that your solution is the best one on the market to address an important problem or need, and that you have a strong business, then it's time to introduce your team. What makes your team the right one to deliver this specific solution? Don't forget that you are pitching to get results. This call to action is based on who you are telling your story to. It can be anything from getting investment to finding your early adopters to use the service, or getting partners to take your company to the next level. If you feel your startup is ready for investment, ask for realistic amounts based on a budget and the maturity level of your startup. Wrap up your pitch in a full circle. When telling a compelling story, make sure you close the circle by coming back to where you started. Always finish by thanking your audience. Now that you have your first pitch script together, the real work begins. Analyze the language and make sure words are used intentionally. Is the language effective and powerful? Instead of saying, "We are aiming to create," which makes you sound uncertain, instead be direct and say, "We create." Pitching while using notes is very unprofessional. So take time practicing and memorizing your pitch. A startup story keeps evolving, and you will go through many drafts before you get close to a good pitch. Once you think you have it together, do a couple of exercises. If you had to limit the time to only 30 seconds, what elements would you include? What if you only had 10 seconds to impress someone? Having shorter versions of your pitch is very useful, especially at networking events, so be prepared for anything. Pair your story together with a smartly designed pitch deck. A pitch deck is a PowerPoint presentation that you present while you pitch. Use high-quality images and only the very necessary minimal text. Graphs and visuals help to support your message, and if you don't have a designer on your team, investing a little in graphic design services goes a long way. A professional pitch deck allows you to demonstrate your product, as well as results from product validation, such as customer feedback. It adds to what you are saying during your pitch, instead of repeating it. There's a difference between an investor pitch and a demo pitch. So make sure that the materials you are sending someone digitally have all the necessary elements of your 3-minute pitch, including the numbers on traction so far and estimated growth figures. Finally, whenever it's time to tell your story, remember that the audience trusts a confident speaker. Deliver your well-prepared and well-rehearsed pitch in a confident manner. Body language is important and says a lot about how comfortable you feel while delivering your pitch. Your audience should feel that you are relaxed and at ease. So stand on both your feet and use your hands naturally. And don't forget to smile.
So please pay attention. I'm going to show you what we mean by a pitch deck, but let me explain this first. I hope you can see the screen. After this, I will show you one that was done by one of my students. Then you will use that as an example to prepare your own pitch deck. Okay, number one, you start with your title slide. Your title slide. Leave it, just leave it. Your title slide. Now, in this, your title slide, you are talking about describing what your pitch is all about. Now, please pay attention. For every entrepreneurial pitch, remember what I taught you in entrepreneurship. It must identify a problem. So if you are making a presentation that does not identify any problem, then it's a business. It's not entrepreneurship. So you must be able to, I told you people to develop business ideas. I have them. But in your pitch presentation, you must identify a problem. If you are into poultry or wherever the business is, I want to know what problem you are going to solve. Every entrepreneurship pitch, it wants to solve a problem. So you start with the problem, then you state the solution. In the area where I live, there is no fish farm. Because of that, all the fish that come into my area are imported. This has made the average cost of fish where I am located high. I believe that if I start a fish farm, it will help to lower the cost of fish in my vicinity. Have you seen what I've just said now? I've set up a problem and I've also addressed it. Now, depending on what your problem is, you should be able to identify the problem. I'm giving you an example. Now, opportunity and target market. You go ahead and talk about opportunity in where you are. In the place where I live, we don't have any fish farm. We don't have, there's no fish farm around. So if I'm able to sell at a lower price, because I'm producing the fish in my locality, that's market. You can get into all the opportunities available with fish, as against people don't eat meat anymore. You can bring it up a lot of issues why you feel there's an opportunity and good market for your products. From there, you talk about the technology you are going to use, what kind of technology you will use. Then you get into competition. You have competitors. Are there other fish farms around you? Marketing and sales. How do you intend to market and sell your products? Then you talk about your management team. What's your management team? If it's only you, say it's only you, it's not a problem. Then your financial projection. Please pay attention. I'm going to give you an example in a PowerPoint, and I'm going to put it on your WhatsApp group, because tomorrow, what we're going to be doing tomorrow is this. For those of you who will be ready, I want them to present. So you do your financial projections. I'm going to show you, but let me just give you one straight off how to do it. Under a financial projection, what I expect to talk about is I want to stock 500 fingerlings. This is how much it's going to cost me. I intend to sell at this price, and in the first 4-6 months, I'm going to make this amount of money. In the first 1 year, I'm going to make this amount of money. I am going to be buying this equipment. This is how much it's going to cost. Just a projection of what you need and how much you will spend. Then your current status. Are you new, a startup? Are you already in business? Then after that, you say this is the amount of money you need. Some people will link 11 to number 9. However you want to arrange that. Okay, you can ask me any questions. I want to give you an example of a pitch deck that you will use. So you use that as an example. So you are going to use this pitch deck. I'm going to post it on the WhatsApp platform. If you already have yours, which you want to use, that's fine. But this one, you can follow it. It's an already established procedure. So I'm going to be showing you a pitch deck now. Then I'll post it on your WhatsApp platform. So you use that. You will use it to study that outline and use that exactly to prepare for your presentation. Please take this very, very serious, because it is something that you'll be needing very soon now. Okay, so please look at I'm going to be showing you an example now. We'll just look at it. So this example, like I said, I will load it on your WhatsApp group. But I'm going to use it now to show you how to do a pitch deck. Please, can you put it on the screen? Just put it on the screen for them. Put it on the screen. Now, this pitch deck was prepared by one of my students that learned like you. So I'm glad to use it to teach you. He listened like you guys, and I have a lot of them. Maybe I'll post more than one for you guys so that you can choose. I have some of them that did outstandingly well. So I'm going to use their pitch deck to show you. Tomorrow, this is what we'll be doing tomorrow. So I'm hoping that you guys will copy. So now look at it. You see what I showed you as an outline. This is the first page. Okay? I hope you copy that outline. Now go to the next slide. This is the problem. He is dealing on waste management. Look at what he did. The problem is the far distance of dump sites from the reach of households. This has resulted to the people throwing waste products into gutters, drainage system, and streets. So you must describe the problem. This is the first one. And now, please be looking at that outline I gave to you guys. I told you to screenshot it. Then he presents a solution. What I'm showing is what you call a pitch deck. So this is what you will use to make your presentation tomorrow or anywhere they call you. You present the solution. Then you go to the next one, the opportunity and target market. You describe it. You describe the opportunity and target market. You see that? Then the next one is your competition. Who are your competitors? You describe it. Your marketing strategy. What is your marketing strategy? Go to the next slide. You describe it. What technology are you using? You describe the technology you are using. Then your management team. Like I told you before, it doesn't need to be this huge. If it is just you and your husband or you alone, it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be this huge, your management team. Then financial projection. So they can see that this is what he claims he's going to make in the first year, second year, third year, fourth year. But it's good. This is his projection. Now he's asking for 3.6 million. And this is how he intends to spend it. You can see that. So that's it. This is what a pitch deck is all about. I'm going to go through it again. I'll be putting it on the WhatsApp group so that you can use it to prepare for tomorrow. For those of you who are serious. Please go to the first page again. Go to the first page. Now, this is the title. It doesn't need to be colorful like this. Please. If you don't know how to use graphics, don't bother yourself. You can just do it. This is the first page. You state the problem. Number one, slide one. Number two, you set the solution. Number three, your opportunity and target market. Number four, competition. Who are your competitors? You state it. Your marketing strategy. How do you intend to sell? The technology you're using. What technology are you using? Your team. Your management team. Then your financial projections. How much money will you make in the first year, second year, third year? You can stop at the third year or fourth year. Then finally, how much are you looking for? So this one will be hypothetical. You can just use any figure. Back to me. You can use any figure um, and justify it. So, any questions? Question time. Question time. Please, can you open the stuff? Let me see whether that's a queue. Okay. No, no, I mean open the queue for the WhatsApp for the questions. Let me see. Admit the people now there. Admit all. Huh? Okay, love it. You can go ahead and speak.
Good evening, everyone. Please, the question I want to ask is that recently I was given an invitation to come and advertise my business at DBS Asaba. But I've been thinking of what I want to put in place in order for me to go for the advertisement. So I said I'm going to ask you the question in the morning, but I did not have the opportunity to.
Okay, you can chat me up on that. Let's concentrate on business plan and pitching now. Huh? Send me a message on WhatsApp.
All
I'll
right.
reply you. Okay? I'll reply you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So, huh? Emmanuel, where are you?
Job the monitor.
I don't know the manual that opened. Yeah, Toddy, go ahead. Toddy, Emmanuel. Yeah, go ahead, Toddy.
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir.
I'm hearing you. Go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me, sir? Okay. Okay. For some of us like me, business is very difficult, especially this starting up something, putting out something. Yes, there are problems around and we can physically see the problems. We know some solutions, but it comes difficult to me to like set out something. Like I've been a solar and inverter installer since let me say 2018. That should be over 5 years now. And I since okay, it was during my school IT. So I've been installing. I've gone for several trainings, and that was how I was able to attend a training underpinned through A7. So coming to this class right now, like I've been thinking of how do I put this into a solar and inverter business without starting up a shop. Like solar inverter is almost everywhere now. Everybody is doing solar inverter installation. Now, to actually flourish in this solar inverter installation, you really need to have marketers and marketing strategies, putting out websites, selling of them, showing your works and all. And putting up all these things, putting up websites, they are very, very expensive. But now some persons are scared of giving you jobs now because they want high-tech installations and all. So they want you to have a company, have a company, you have a website, and also the problem. The problem is it's difficult for those looking for how do I put it now? Like if you're an installer, it's quite difficult for an installer to actually push out a business because all those kind of business that comes once in a while. So let me say I have a very low knowledge on it, but I would like to know how to push up more on inverter installation business. How do I put it into a business without having a shop?
Anyway, you're not alone. You know, sometimes we try to get a little bit frustrated because we think the problem is all about us. It's not all about you. Everybody is facing exactly the same problem you're facing. And why you seek knowledge it's not like it's going to completely solve your problem, but it's going to help you in some way to get out of all those problems. Okay, look at all the things you're mentioning. You need a website. You don't need a website. Right now, there are, I don't even advise upcoming entrepreneurs to use a website because nobody will go there. Nobody will go to your site. You have to, there are a lot of platforms you need to leverage on to advertise your product or service. You see, one good thing about this social media today and internet marketing is you can create a profile that is not you. It's not like before when you have to develop a physical presence. Nobody has time to visit your shop. Nobody has time to visit your shop. You need to sit down and create a profile. This is what I've been teaching you guys. You've been doing this since 2008. So I believe you have enough experience.
No,
You need to
2018.
listen.
Sorry, 2018, sir. I'm still a very young boy. Jesus Christ.
No,
2018, sir.
2018
Sorry,
is
sir.
2018
Yes,
is yes. That's about how many years? That's about 4 years experience. That's a lot of time for you. So you need to sit down first of all and develop a brand. Please pay attention. I'm very serious with this advice I'm giving you, Emmanuel. Write what I'm telling you to down. Nothing grows until it becomes a brand. I see that you're not a brand. You're just Emmanuel the installer. That's what you are. You are just Emmanuel the installer. That's what you are. You're not a brand. Until you become a brand, you will not grow. One of the things I'll be teaching you guys in January is branding for SMEs. This Christmas, sit down with a graphics person and develop a brand. Find a good name. You can call it Ph.D. Solar Services. Get a logo, create a brand, get pictures, push it out there. I can make a bet with you. Work with me on this. Let us create, I want to use you as an example. Get a graphics person. Let us create a brand, not Emmanuel the installer. Create a proper brand and let's push it out there and see what will happen to you in 3 months. Because you don't need a shop. You don't need anything. Nobody is coming to your shop. Nobody is coming to your shop. That's why we have internet and social media. Nobody has that time anymore. By the time you go out there, create platforms, create accounts, and begin to push these things, you're going to be getting calls from everywhere because that's how people look for everything. If I'm looking for somebody to do solar installation for me, I'm not going to be driving along the road looking for signboard. I will go online and where are you based, Emmanuel? Where's your base? Yeah?
Port Harcourt and Lagos.
You're based in Port Harcourt and Lagos. Okay,
Sir.
so where is your major base? Is it Port Harcourt or Lagos? Where are you based?
Port Harcourt, Port Harcourt. They are currently
Okay.
in Lagos.
Okay, Port Harcourt, that's good. So if I need to do solar now, I don't need to be driving along Aba Road or Stadium Road or GRA. I won't do that. I will go online and I'll look for solar installers in Port Harcourt. A lot of names will fall in. I'll be clicking on them one by one and looking at their profiles. Anyone I like, I make a call. I'm not going to be driving on the road looking for a signboard or for a shop. I won't do that. So from everything we have spoken, I think you are not yet a brand. That is your problem. Luckily, you're in Port Harcourt. I invite you to come to my office since you're in Port Harcourt. All right? Emmanuel, I'll be glad to see you. All right? Come and see me. Let's create a brand so that I can use you as an example. All right?
Sorry, sir. I said I'm based in Port Harcourt, but I'm currently in Lagos. Like I'm currently
Okay, no,
in
it's
Lagos.
not. You are currently in Lagos. Okay, so but you understand what I've told you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're currently in Lagos. So
Yes,
we
sir.
work together to create your brand. All right.
Okay, sir.
When we
Yes, sir.
create your brand, in 1 month, you will see what is going to happen to you. Eh? But when you start making money, don't forget me. Okay. Eh? Well, I'm going to create, I will use you as a practical example. And you see how this works. It works. All right. Any other question, please? Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Sir, my question goes this way. Difference between business plan and pitch.
Difference
And
between
second
what?
question is, sir, already I have a business plan and pitch.
I'm not hearing you.
Different. I said business plan. Difference between business plan and a pitch.
And a pitch. Okay,
Yes.
okay. The difference between a business plan and a pitch. Okay,
Plan.
yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Second question. Already I have a brand which I'm already prepared and I work towards it. By the grace of God, and Nigerian Institute of Judas has just integrated my company into a training center that can train about 4 trade areas. But the challenge I'm having now is funds to get an office, a training hall, and all that stuff. Now, what
I
is
lost
your
you there.
advice for?
Israel, hold on. He said you have applied for a grant.
I said already I have the ground in my company. So now the challenge we are facing right now is fund to fund the company already. I have already registered with Nigerian Institute
What
of
do you
Builders
do?
and
What is your business?
construction, sir. And we also train people on 4 areas, which is
Your
plumbing,
business is
electrical.
construction
Yes, sir.
and what?
We also train people on different areas, about 4 areas: electrical installation, plumbing, um, masonry, and wedding and fabrication, sir.
Okay, if you say your business is construction, so that means you can build for somebody, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can build for somebody, and you now trained for on construction skills.
Yes, sir.
So what do you need money
We,
for? What do you need money
sir,
for?
in terms of office, sir, because in our registration, we need office to a classroom, at least a little small hall to train people on theoretical aspects so that can enable us to issue a certificate to them
Listen,
when due.
listen. You see, this is the mistake startups make. You don't. When you are starting a business, you need to start small. Every money you spend now should be on marketing. If you're into construction, all you need to do is to look for people who want to build. They will give you money. You don't need an office to look for them. What you need is to build, just like I advised Emmanuel, to build a proper profile for yourself. Now, I don't advise you to go and start renting office at this point for training. How much do you think they charge for training? You cannot break even. So, what you need to do is go and form partnership with some people who have training halls or venues that you can use so that anytime you get the job, you will use it for a short moment until you grow. You cannot afford to go and rent a facility just like me now. If you come here, it's a very big place. You're paying for light, you're paying for water, you're doing a lot of things, higher stuff. You don't have time for that right now. So, as a startup, all your investment should be on marketing. Get the jobs. Then everything you should be using at this stage should be things you come into agreement with the owners. There are a lot of small training venues that you can use for now. You pay them a little money, you get the job, you do the training until you continue to save. So as a company grows over time, you will now have enough money to rent your own place. you must avoid a lot of overheads. Remember what I told you about the income statement when we are doing our business plan. Everything you must do to put your expenses low. That shows that you're a proper entrepreneur. Now, your first question, you asked the difference between a business plan and a pitch deck. Well, I should also ask you that question from everything you have learned. There are similarities to it because when you present your pitch deck is like an abridged business plan, because what you are presenting, when you send a business plan, they will call you to come and present it. So you're not going to sit down to talk about the entire plan, but you're going to present a deck. This is what I've given you as an example. So you will use that as an abridged version. But sometimes you may not require a business plan. It could be that you're applying for a grant. It could be that you want to present your business to investors and they want you to come and make a short presentation about your product or service. Then you use this pitch deck. So this is how it works. All right. I have sent this presentation to your WhatsApp group. So when you finish, it's there. So look at what I showed you as the bullet points on the PowerPoint presentation and this one. You need to use it to prepare your pitch deck and your presentation. You have 3 minutes to speak. This will take you 3 minutes, maximum of 4 minutes. Your presentation should not be more than 4 minutes, between 3 to 4 minutes. Are you listening to me? So your presentation, okay, your presentation should be between 3 to 4 minutes. So tomorrow, that's what we'll be doing. The class tomorrow will start by 2 o'clock. And by that 2 o'clock, I want to give you enough time to read for your exams on Friday and prepare for this pitch deck. So the class tomorrow will be from 2 to 4. I want to leave you so that you get ready for your exams on Friday. So what we are going to be doing tomorrow at 2 o'clock is to go through this pitch deck for those of you who will do it. We'll go through it again. I want you to be very, very perfect with it. I'm going to find some videos on some local pitch decks. I'll probably upload it on the WhatsApp group, the one some of my old students did, so that you can look at it. I will go to upload it tonight so that you look at it. All right, so we call it a day. Please take this very, very seriously. You cannot finish this spin training and you're not successful in the challenge. All right, thank you. Good night. See you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Please study for your exams on Friday and prepare your pitch deck with the example I gave you. Good night.